is DIMA. It's Xavier Jernigan from Spotify. I'm Spotify's host. I'm head of cultural partnerships, and I host things for Spotify. And I'm excited because it's Black Music Month. It's June. It's that time of year when we get together and celebrate the contributions of African Americans, the Black diaspora as a whole, and the contributions to music. And I'm here. I have a great guest that I'm really excited to talk to about this subject. She is Congresswoman Nikema Williams, representing out of Georgia. She's based in Atlanta, which is really the epicenter of Black music in this country. So I'm excited to have you here, Representative Williams. How you doing?
I am good. I'm happy to have this conversation. Happy that we can take Black history and spread it across the full year and talk about Black music in this June.
That's right. Black history is every day. It's year round. It's not just
365 Black.
That's right. 365 Black. And I'm real Black. I got my X hat on. You can call me X, by the way. Everybody calls me X, but you know, that's a double meaning right there. Signed by Spike Lee, by the way. And I got my Essence shirt on. So we're ready. We're ready to have a good time.
See, I didn't come prepared. I should have been better dressed for this conversation.
No, you got the colors. You got you on my painting. So we good. We right in the pocket. And we got a lot of things in common. Like, I'm from Florida. I'm from Daytona Beach, FAMU graduate, but I spent a lot of time in that.
That's all right. We won't hold that against you, man, a FAMU graduate.
Well, our FAMU graduate did, run the city, was mayor of the city, Keisha Lance Bottoms.
We won't hold that against her either. At least you're an HBCU grad. I'll give you that much.
That's right. You're an HBCU grad too.
That's
so
right.
So you know what? Let's start there. What are some of the songs that come into mind when you think about your HBCU experience?
Oh, see, you taking me back. So
yeah.
I pledged in the fall of '99, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay,
and one of the songs, I was just looking at Funk Fest down in Orlando this past weekend, and they were having a No Limit reunion. And I'm like, this is taking me back, y'all.
Exactly.
No Limit, like 99 and 2000s and songs that we did our line strolls to in the club. So I was ready to see some Mystical and, but I had to get back to Atlanta, so I wasn't able to go. But that's what I think about in my college days, like those college parties when I was able to go with my line sisters and songs that got us all up on the dance floor.
Everybody may not know why. I mean, we said a little bit up front of why Black Music Month, but why would you say in your own words, is there the need to have a Black Music Month?
So our music is very much connected to our culture and to our history and our heritage, and it tells a story. And so when you think about the songs that you hear from artists today, I mean, my favorite is Usher. And so he, I can talk about him all day.
Atlanta, yet again.
But I mean, just thinking about the stories that we're able to tell and the way that other cultures relate to the Black culture through our music.
That's right.
And the way that we're able to bring people together. And it's just, I mean, it's like none other.
Yeah, something unifying about that. Like when we have a good time, everybody around us seems to have a good time. And people may not know this, but you're a mentee of the late, great John Lewis. And I did not have the pleasure of meeting him. I'm a big John Lewis fan. Rest in power, John Lewis. But one thing I do know about John Lewis is he loved to dance.
Whether he had rhythm or not, he was always ready to get up and dance.
So tell me about that, the energy around, just having that spirit in the office and around, doing really important work, but the fact that he still took the time out to dance and have that experience, no matter where you're from, whether you had rhythm or not.
So one of his favorites was Pharrell, that Happy, and he would just get up and what's the expression? Dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And he would dance like nobody was watching and bring other people in with him. And it made you feel happy seeing just the way that he just lost himself in that moment.
Yeah.
And we need more moments where we're able to just be our authentic selves and express ourselves. And music is something that brings us together and allows us to just release and be ourselves.
Amen. Now, one of his mantras was good trouble, get into some good trouble. And some of the good trouble that you get into around social justice issues, preventing voter suppression, expanding free and fair access to the ballot box, issues with, around women, families. What are some songs that come to mind that speak to some of these issues that get you at least get you fired up to go address these issues. Like, for example, I think of Fight the Power, A Public Enemy. That's one of my favorites.
So one thing that just like clicked in my mind is All We Do Is Win, because I'm looking towards November and we got to win. And so I'm looking at what we're up against and how many forces are against us. And yet we win anyway, in spite of everything that's against us. And so, I mean, that's going to be my mantra going into the November midterms is all we do is win.
I like that. And speaking of all we do is win, and just the Georgia played a big part in, you know, what we needed in terms of getting some wins. But the thing about Georgia is that Atlanta's in Georgia. You live in Atlanta, and Atlanta is the epicenter of Black music right now. What does hip hop mean to Atlanta? What does Atlanta mean to hip hop and just Black music in general?
So I've been having this conversation with our House Democratic Caucus Chairman, Hakeem Jeffries, who, you know,
Hakeem, Brooklyn.
Yeah, he likes to say that he's the hip hop congressman, and he has this little party where he likes to bring in all of this New York music. And I'm like, we're gonna have to have a conversation about this, because I represent Atlanta, and I know that when you think about music, there are so many connections back to the South, whether it is blues from Mississippi or like just the connections to the South, and then looking at all of the artists now from Atlanta, and from rap to everything. And so I've been having this conversation with him that we're going to have this joint party where I bring in these Atlanta-based artists to maybe show everybody what real music is about. So I'm ready to put it all out there, and I don't like to lose. So my Atlanta artists better show up.
You know what I like about that too? I don't know if you were told this, but I did this interview last year with Hakeem Jeffries, different question. So I know Representative Jeffries. He goes to my church, Emmanuel Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm a deacon. So I'm actually a voter of Representative Jeffries. So I get to represent for Brooklyn, where I am right now, and the South, because I'm from the South. So I'm torn when you say that. So I'm kind of...
You'll be our judge when we have this big epic event. We'll have to invite you.
Oh, perfect. I'm in. I will be impartial. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped for this. So you're just talking about the Dirty South and Dirty South representatives. What are some of your go-to Dirty South anthems, like songs that represent Georgia or just the South in general?
I mean, you know, we have our crossover music. Like, you can go to any place, and if they throw on you know, you can get everybody engaged. It doesn't matter where you're from or what your racial demographics are. You can bring everybody together. But then we also have Outkast, and like so many different soundtracks of your life can be placed with a song from one of those albums. Atlanta is just the place where everybody can come and find a part of themselves. And our music is an expression of that. Ain't
that the truth? And, you know, one of my favorite groups, one of my favorite albums was this album called Soul Food by Goody Mob, who's connected to Outkast and organized noise. And they coined the term the Dirty South for those who don't know. So just a little education for those of y'all who don't know. I'm gonna leave you with that. I got two more questions for you. One specifically about Atlanta. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of Georgia artists? Like, what are the four artists you would put in your Mount Rushmore? And I'm not going to limit it to hip hop, because there's just so many, but your Mount Rushmore. And Hakeem did this last year. So Representative Jeffries did this last year. So I got to challenge you with that. I had him do it for Brooklyn. So I got to have you do it for the South.
Mount Rushmore. I mean, Outkast has to be like...
Agreed. We're going to give him one spot. Yeah.
So they have their spot. And then, I mean, my husband knew this before we got married, that Usher is my boo. So Usher has to have his place right there on Mount Rushmore.
I like it.
I mean, we have so many. I'm thinking about, like, from Jermaine Dupri and the way that he was able to bring so many artists along. And
he has to be on there, I think.
He has to.
You got to put Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. I mean, Luda, who came up like as a student at Georgia State and was able to find his way just by an internship with a local radio station, and what he's been able to do.
That's not bad. So we got Outkast.
But see, we're better than Brooklyn. So we have so many more people. We're going to need more than just four.
I can't let you get away with this. You know, because you got Biggie, we got Jay-Z, we got Lil Kim. I mean, we can, But I got so one last question. Now that was a great answer. I'm not mad at that. And I cannot wait for this party, this Brooklyn versus Atlanta music party. What are you listening to right now? We're putting together a playlist. What are you listening to right now?
What am I listening? So this is an unfair question, and it doesn't really give you any gauge into like new music.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be new.
Like all of my playlists, and I've probably said this a million times in this conversation, are based around Usher. Like everything, I get in the car and it's either I'm listening to Praise 102.5, getting my praise on, or I'm listening to Usher. I have two extremes, like it's Usher or Praise. So.
Did you go see Usher in Vegas, by the way?
I absolutely saw him last year. I ran into Usher at the Juneteenth celebration at the White House. And I told him that I felt like he added the additional show on July 30th, which is my birthday, for my birthday. And so I felt like I couldn't stand him up.
Congresswoman, Representative Nikema Williams, thank you for your time. This was absolutely amazing. You really just show the importance of music in our lives and the contributions of Black artists and just how the Black artists have completely enriched our lives and what it means to be an American, no matter what your racial makeup is and your ethnic background. Thank you for the time. Gotta win.
All we do is win.
All we do is win. Thank you so much. God bless. Peace.
Thank you.